The city reports 13 new COVID-19 infections as online registration for a citywide coronavirus testing program starts tomorrow. Social distancing restrictions relaxed for restaurants, cinemas, beauty parlors, and some outdoor sports premises. And Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe resigns due to health reasons.
Hello and welcome to TVB News. 2 more people have died from the coronavirus in Hong Kong. This as 13 new infections were confirmed today.
Amid an overall downward trend in infection numbers in recent weeks, authorities are pushing ahead with a voluntary free COVID-19 testing scheme. Online registration for citywide testing program will open tomorrow morning. Haley Joe has more.
The epidemic has taken away 2 more lives in Hong Kong. A 91-year-old man and 76-year-old man with chronic illnesses passed away at United Christian Hospital and Tue Mun Hospital respectively this morning. Meanwhile, the city reported 13 more COVID-19 cases. 3 of them are of unknown sources and another 3 are imported cases. Among the newly diagnosed patients is a worker for food delivery app Food Panda. She works in the Cheung Kwan O area.
The food delivery process is very short and they usually packaged and she's wearing masks during the delivery, so we don't consider those customers as close contacts.
Despite the downward trend of infection numbers, the government insists universal testing is necessary to get the outbreak under control. Online registration begins tomorrow at 7 a.m. for 7 days. People can make an appointment between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. at one of the 141 sample collection centers across the city's 18 districts. This morning, officials made a last-minute bid to quash concerns and boost participation. But the more details they gave, the more grounds for concerns surfaced. Each center will head it by a registered doctor, but some of those taking samples will have no clinical experience.
For the students, the healthcare professional students, if they are participating, they are under supervision.
Medical students or nursing students, they will be provided with training and know how to do the procedure.
Officials say the central government has enlisted a total of 600 specialists to support Hong Kong, with more than 100 of them arriving today. And there's a lack of information about their qualifications.
I must say, everyone in the support team has been accredited with recognized qualifications by the mainland.
How about people's doubts about the quality of the tests? Swedish authorities reported 3,700 people in the country using BGI manufactured testing kits have tested false positive for COVID-19. They said the testing kits could not distinguish between very low levels of the virus and negative results. BGI is the parent company of Sunrise Diagnostics Center, one of the labs involved in the testing scheme in Hong Kong.
They have to go through our external quality assurance mechanism. So there is no evidence to say that in terms of sensitivity and specificity, there are problems.
The secretary in charge insists the effectiveness of the program doesn't necessarily hinge on the number of participants.
I don't think that you need to measure the effectiveness of the program by sticking to a particular figures about the number of people coming forward to be tested.
The scheme is expected to last 7 days, but can be extended by another week. Haley Joe, TVB News.
Well, many of the city's social distancing measures were eased up today. Dine-in hours at eateries have been extended from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Restaurants are still required to serve no more than 2 people per table. Cinemas, beauty parlors, and also some outdoor sports premises are also allowed to reopen. People are now also allowed to go mask-free in country parks and while doing outdoor exercise. Massage parlors and sauna operators are still closed down. The center is urging the government to allow them to reopen, claiming that they have enough measures to prevent a spread of the disease.
The Chief Secretary for Administration was among those on hand for a special meeting to discuss government measures to combat COVID-19. Caleb Leung has more.
Today's House Committee special meeting began with pan-democratic lawmakers protesting over issues such as political prosecution. The committee's chairman, Story Lee, stopped their protests, saying it had nothing to do with the epidemic. The meeting then proceeded with some lawmakers demanding more direct help for the public.
The
$10,000 given to the public, many have spent them because many people are unemployed or underemployed in the past few months. Are you going to return $20,000 to all members of the public?
The government's response.
We are going into a dire situation. We forecast that there will be $300 billion of deficit this year. It is the largest ever. So, of course, we need to help those in need, but we need to make sure we have proper, healthy public finances. So we need to strike a balance between the two.
There were also those who questioned the government's quarantine exemption arrangement for certain groups.
For the third wave of transmission, it's because of the air crew and sea crew. They brought the virus to us. Now, there are 4 experts in the expert advisory panels. Did all of them object to the proposal to grant exemption to these groups? Now, I'm not going to divulge the detailed discussions with experts, but I think we always put public health first. And of course, there's no longer a problem. There are still isolated imported cases, but on the whole, we've managed to control imported cases.
Lawmakers also asked about privacy concerns surrounding the planned health code system for Hong Kong residents to enter the mainland or Macau. Chung said for those who are worried about their personal information falling into the hands of mainland authorities, they can choose not to cross the border. Caleb Leung, TVB News.
Police say they have received notification from mainland authorities about the interception of a speedboat in mainland waters, and 12 Hong Kong people on board the vessel are being detained. Sources say the people are thought to be attempting to flee to Taiwan. 11 of them were earlier arrested in Hong Kong for offenses including rioting and arson. They were later released on bail and were not allowed to leave the SAR. One of the detainees is Andy Lee, who was arrested on suspicion of breaching the national security law. Another 3 were allegedly connected with homemade bombs found on a slope on Wai'an College. Sources say the vessel departed from Sai Kung on its way to Taiwan.
Police have arrested a man on suspicion of 7 crimes, including inciting others to commit criminal damage using social media. Captured in Hung Hom, the 26-year-old alleged computer technician is believed to be in charge of a Telegram channel. Operating since last August, the channel is said to have published messages inciting others to commit violence and vandalism on many occasions. More than 100,000 people are subscribed to the channel. A hearing will take place at the Kowloon City Magistrates Court.
We are not targeting on any specific channel, but we are focusing on the criminality of what's inside the channel or what's being published in the channel. We have already posted a photo on the channel saying that the police has already taken over the channel.
The West Kowloon Magistracy will deliver a verdict for media tycoon Jimmy Lai's criminal intimidation case next week. Pinky Wong has details.
Founder of Next Media, Jimmy Lai, entered West Kowloon Magistrates Court this morning. He is accused of intimidating a reporter from rival newspaper Oriental Daily at a rally on June 4, 2017. The media tycoon denies the charge. The prosecution's Priscilla Lam said Lai's threat to the reporter has to be put into context. Saying Lai was at a public gathering on the day of the incident, reporters have the right to be there. Lam noted the reporter allegedly following Lai kept his distance. She said if Lai felt uncomfortable, he should have walked away instead of threatening the reporter. Lam pointed out Lai's threat, saying to mess you up, and he also had photographs of the journalist, implying physical harm. Lai later claimed that he meant to file a police report or court injunction. The prosecution asked the court to put weight on a psychiatrist's evidence on the diagnosis of the adjustment disorder of the reporter. Magistrate Mei Chung admitted the psychiatrist as a factual witness but questioned if the medical professional made any findings or opinions on the cause of illness. Lam, representing the journalist, said there wasn't a cause of the illness from the doctor and they were relying on the reporter's evidence. Defense counsel Peter Duncan challenged the reporter's credibility. Duncan made reference to the regularity and content of letters sent to the Department of Justice from the journalist and Oriental Daily, which refute his true colors. He said the reporter was willing to say whatever it takes to have Lai not only charged but convicted. The defendant's lawyer described Lai's reaction then as an outburst, and words were uttered in the spur of the moment in a hot June evening with no ground intent to cause alarm to the reporter. He added it was understandable as Lai had been experiencing pressure from Oriental Daily and the reporter for something like 3 years. The magistrate will give her verdict September 3rd. Lai will remain on bail with existing terms. Thank you, Wong, TVB News.
China's foreign minister is defending his country's response to the pandemic while also scoffing at the idea of praising Hong Kong activists. Wang Yi made the comments in Oslo on the final leg of a 5-nation European tour. He also said it's unclear if the virus originated in China, casting doubt on the views of some health experts and foreign governments. Wang said China was the first country to report the existence of the virus to the World Health Organization, but it did not mean the virus originated there. He also warned Oslo against politicizing the Nobel Award. A former Norwegian lawmaker proposed nominating the people of Hong Kong for the Nobel Peace Prize this year. Relations between Oslo and Beijing soured in 2010 after the Norwegian Nobel Committee awarded the Peace Prize to Chinese dissident Liu Xiaobo.
In a shock announcement, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has resigned due to ongoing health problems.
In a country once known for its short-tenured prime ministers, Abe's departure marks the end of an unusual era of stability. Leslie Tang has more.
After intense speculation, Japan's longest-serving prime minister announced he's stepping down due to health reasons. This cuts short Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's goals to revive growth and bolster the country's defenses. Amid my illness and medical treatment and the distress of not being in full physical condition, there must not be any mistakes made on important political decisions, nor a situation where I fail to achieve results. As I am no longer in a situation where I can confidently answer to the mandate of the people of this nation, I have decided I should no longer continue to be in the position of Prime Minister, he said. Abe's term was supposed to end in September 2021. He will stay on until a new party leader from his ruling Liberal Democratic Party is elected and formally approved by Parliament. They are likely to keep Abe's reflationary Abenomics policies credited for reviving Japan's economy from 2 decades of deflation. Long suffering from ulcerative colitis, Abe stepped down from his first stint as prime minister in 2007, citing ill health. He has since kept his illness in check with medicine and returned to power in 2012. But his visit to a hospital 2 weeks in a row earlier this month stirred up rumors his health condition was deteriorating. During his time in power, Abe has been credited with pulling Japan out of recession. The 65-year-old has also won high marks for diplomacy that saw the leader strike up warm ties with U.S. President Donald Trump. But his resignation comes as his support ratings are at their lowest levels due to his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and its severe impact on the economy. Leslie Tang, TVB News.
Still to come on the news, the Russian president says he set up a reserve police force to be deployed in Belarus. And 9-car trains with wider compartments ready for service on East Rail Line around mid-September. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced Thursday that he has formed a reserve police force which could be deployed in Belarus. Putin stated that he created the force on the request of Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, but that it would not be utilized unless the political instability in the country escalated further. The Russian president added that the Kremlin has an obligation to help Belarus with security issues due to historical ties. Belarus has been rocked by protests since its August 9th election, which saw Lukashenko retain power for a 26th straight year. The demonstrators claim the vote was neither free nor fair.
Security footage was played at the coroner's inquest over the mysterious death of a 15-year-old girl last year. A taxi driver also revealed the teen took a cab on her own right before she went missing. Kena Chu tells us more.
Surveillance camera footage was shown at today's inquest into Chen Yinlam's death. The videos were prepared by an executive officer of the Hong Kong Design Institute. Lasting roughly half an hour, the clips were taken at the design school the day before the 15-year-old went missing. One segment showed a female in a dark outfit and shoes at the institution's front door at 5:47 p.m. With a string around her neck holding a bag, she walked towards the Lee Wai-Lee campus. Later entering a lift, a camera inside saw the female flash a faint smile. She was joined by a man, but there was no interaction between the two. Minutes later, the female proceeded to the campus's 9th-floor garden before showing up on Block B's second-floor podium at 6:13 p.m. At this point, she was empty-handed and did not have anything around her neck. According to the coroner's officer, some of Chen Yinlam's belongings were found on that same podium that same night. After lingering on campus for about an hour, the teen apparently took a taxi to a place near the seaside. Testifying at court, the cab driver involved said the girl boarded his vehicle in bare feet and asked to alight at a construction site behind a residential estate in Lohas Park. On September 22nd last year, Chen Yinlam's naked body was found floating off the Yaotong waters. Despite the oddities, the driver didn't realize until a month later the passenger was Chan. Kena Chu, TVB News.
The MTR's new signaling system for the extension of the East Rail line across the harbor to Admiralty Station begins next month. The rail operator says 9-car trains with wider compartments will be introduced to the East Rail line from September 12th. Existing 12-car trains will continue to serve southbound traffic during the morning peak hours in the early stage of the new arrangement. And that's the news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.